It's hard to describe the significance of Faith Ringgold in my work and my career. She's been an influence on me since I was a very young person. And it's easy to say that I wouldn't be here and a lot of us wouldn't be here if it weren't for her activism and her storytelling and creativity. There was always this relatability in the work while also this poetry and this loftiness, this passion that's embedded in all the work. Everything in the show is really in conversation with work of Faith's, and I was again drawn to her text Kuba paintings and wanting to use that material or that pattern to put in some of my own language, thinking about the power of the term I am for self-expression and expression of sovereignty. And the lenticular work, where as we walk past it, it flips from black to white, and the statement I am I, there's this reflexiveness in there that I really am excited to kind of add to the storytelling of her work. A lot of Faith's work in the 70s was dealing with flags, and I realized it was a really great opener for me, who has been looking at quilt patterns for a long time and has been interested in flags as a form of narrative telling. And this was a chance for me to actually branch out of the United States, where a lot of my work is oriented, and actually use flags from all over the continent of Africa to weave them together to really question kind of the necessity of them and also complicate the myth making that goes into making flags and storytelling. So I think the story of liberation for people of African descent is interwoven all across the world. And in the United States, we have assumed the position of the prodigal sons and daughters of African liberation. And when Kwame Nkrumah said, "Tomorrow, the United States of Africa," I really was inspired by this concept of a united African continent and the power of that statement and the power of that imagination. All Power to All People, which is a 9-foot Afro-pick sculpture with a peace symbol in it. And this Afro-pick was used throughout the Black Power movement, especially in the 70s and the 80s, as a sign of solidarity, a sign of appreciation for Black beauty, and a sign of peace. And so often, Black power is seen as something to be threatened by. But the statement, all power to all people, which the Black Panthers used, is an acknowledgement that Black power is power to all people, and that there is nothing to be afraid of when we think about empowering people who have been disenfranchised and distorted for centuries. And so I was really excited to get to show this sculpture here because of the connection between the Black Power movement in South Africa and the Black Power movement in the United States. The piece behind me, Solidarity, which is a 8-foot bronze sculpture of a fist raised in solidarity. I'm reminded of several photographs and the gesture and statement of a mandala, and wanted to make a monumental sculpture of a bronze arm, raising a symbol of solidarity. And that's something that we actually don't see enough. I believe all artists live in the future, meaning that everything that we do is not about the moment, it's about the people who will see it, learn from it, engage with it, tell the story of it somewhere down the line. And so in this kind of space-time continuum where Faith Ringgold is making work in the 80s and the 60s that is in conversation with us today, that really tells the power of an artist's work, right? That what I'm making today is possibly going to be more relevant in 50 years than it is right now. And so I love that I'm getting to expand the timeline perhaps of Faith's work by adding to that conversation. So maybe there will be another artist yet to be born who will be making work that is expanding on these ideas. And so while I had been dreaming about making some of this work for 15 years, it never made more sense than this opportunity, and that's why I took it.